I really like DMC5. From the insane level of options each of the three characters has at any given time, to the conclusion of so much that the last four games have been building up to. Newcomers may struggle to keep up with some of the story beats, fans of the series will find themselves right at home as you carve your way through enemies from all across the series. Spoilers will follow, so if you have not played the game yet, you should. It's my favorite in the entire series, and although there will be a few things you may not get if you start here, it is still a great jumping in point for the series. The story is hilarious and serious in equal measure, as Dante's easygoing confidence, Nero's witty quips, and V's smugness is offset by Dante's desire to resolve the family grudge, Nero's desperation, and V's drive to survive. Nero still has most of his kit from 4, with the addition of the Devil Bringers to give him a full arsenal of tools. From slowing down time to aerial dodges, each Devil Bringer has a ton of versatility. When using a Bringer's abilities, any damage you take breaks the Devil Bringer, so even something like Sweet Surrender and its regen becomes an added layer to combat as you balance dodging attacks while maximizing your Bringer usage. There's also a breakaway mechanic which allows you to sacrifice your current Bringer to escape a bad situation. As if all of this wasn't enough, each Bringer has a super move as well at the cost of breaking it. Some of these moves even change in midair. Nero has an incredibly diverse moveset, and once you get his Devil Trigger, he regains the last bit of his moveset from 4 that was missing, as well as augmenting his new moves. V is a type of character we've never had before in a character action game, in the form of a summoner. Each summon is tied to a different button, and both Griffin and Shadow have evasive moves that let V escape danger. They both have their own health separate from V as well, and can even die, removing your dodge and forcing you to choose between staying close to their orb to help them respawn sooner, or flee. V also has a third summon, Nightmare, which uses DT gauge. Nightmare explodes into the arena and at base automatically begins killing your foes. He retreats once the DT gauge is empty, but V can charge his Devil Trigger by reading from his book. V's summons cannot kill his enemies. V needs to do that himself, which leads to the constant challenge of comboing with your summons, using them to dodge, building your DT, and finishing off enemies before they come out of their weakened state. Tying it all together is where V really shines, and I hope to see more of this style of character being emulated in years to come. Dante is the best he's ever been. Rebellion returns, as does the Cerberus and the Balrog, with a fun twist on each. The King Cerberus has fire and lightning modes to match the ice, with new combos, including being able to turn into a staff, and the new Balrog can ignite as well as switch between kick and blow mode. These may seem like small changes, but since you can cycle through weapons on the fly, you can come out of a heavy jolt with the Balrog and move straight into a revolver with the Cerberus. The Rebellion is pretty much the same, but is quickly replaced with the Devil Sword Dante, which shares the Rebellion's moveset as well as adding to it with summoned swords and shockwaves. The Cavalier is a motorcycle that Dante can split in two to fight with or ride as part of the combo. It's every bit as ridiculous and amazing as it sounds. This is a ton of options to cycle through, but the ability to weave in the 4 ranged weapons into these combos as well is where Dante's 5 moveset really sets itself apart from the rest. Ebony, Ivory, and the Coyote return, mostly the same but just as useful. The Kalina Ann can now be upgraded to the double Kalina Ann and brings missiles and a laser to its already powerful payload. The Faust is the newest and fanciest of the ranged weapons, spinning red orbs to do anything from a damaging barrier, Gatling shots, or even a meteor. By far the most useful ability it has, however, is to throw it on your foe, placing a duplicate on their brow, which allows you to gain more red orbs from them for a limited time. Not only do your enemies get to look cooler, but you get rewarded for it. Trickster, Gunslinger, Swordmaster, and Royal Guard are also back, and now you can switch between them on the fly as well. Gunslinger and Swordmaster have new moves for every weapon, and can be woven into your other combos seamlessly. You are spoiled for choice with Dante, and it makes every encounter a joy as you carve through your foes with whatever combination of your abilities you choose. Then Dante gets a new Devil Trigger, DT Send. This new form has an entire moveset to itself, giving you even more that you can do as Dante. On the story side, Nero continues to be the punk with the heart of gold that he's always been, but losing Credo and his arm begins to change him. Dante calling him dead weight pushes him over the edge, and despite being beaten down over and over, Nero keeps getting up. When it seems like he's completely lost, Kyrie calls, tells him not to doubt himself, and he gets up again. He refuses to lose the new family that he has, after he's lost so much already, and activates his Devil Trigger, ending the feud between brothers. Nero has grown a lot from the start of DMC4, and no longer needs anyone else to save him. He is no longer dead weight. V, the human half of Virgil, literally falling apart, yet still fiercely desiring power and desiring to live. Virgil for so long has sought power, but it has been both parts of him, not just the demon, but also the human that wanted it. Urizen may be a cruel demon, seeking the strength to stand unchallenged, but V wants that same strength, and will use whoever he has to achieve it. V still wants to beat Dante, and contemplates killing him while he sleeps, but can't bring himself to do it. I like that. V shows us more about a character we already loved by teaching us just how human Virgil really is. His summons are not mere pets either, but former foes of Dante with an axe to grind. Dante himself is still cracking jokes while cracking skulls, and is as fun as ever. He has a dance number, jokes with V about his name, and puts his new bike through its paces. DMC5, however, takes a look back at Dante's family. He questions why Sparta gave him the rebellion. He tries to keep Nero out of the fight, and he seems frustrated with Virgil. He's beaten Virgil so many times, and his brother refuses to stay down. At the end of everything, when Nero defeats Virgil, Dante chooses to leave Nero in charge of defending Earth, going with Virgil into the underworld. Dante even tells Nero, "It's because you're here we can go," proving he really has come to trust his nephew. Nero is dead weight no more, and Dante knows it. He and Virgil get to duel forever, with no world at stake or people to save, just the never-ending fight they have always enjoyed. New character Nico is a blast, adding in a heap of snark to every scene she's in, as well as being the genius behind Nero's Devilbringers. She doesn't get as much screen time as I would like. The scenes that she is in are always better because she's there. I cannot say the same for Trish, Lady, and Kyrie. I think that Trish gets a little bit more to do than Lady does, even though Lady gets a little bit more screen time. I think that both of them are kind of unused in this game. They could have been so much more, and I just wish we got to see them being themselves again, doing stuff, taking out enemies. We don't even ever get to see them fight, which is a huge shame. Kyrie never comes on screen at all, despite the fact that she's extremely important to the story, and it's her words that are able to push Nero forward. It would have been nice to be able to see her again. I really like Kyrie from 4. 4 was, for a long time, my favorite game in the series before 3 overtook it again. With all that said, though, 5 has definitely taken over. Even despite those flaws, I think that 5 is the best game in the series by far. It has 100% eclipsed 3 for me as much as I love 3. And if you have not played it yet and you've listened to this whole video, you really should. I think it's super worth it. Tell me your thoughts on DMC5 in the comment section down below. I have been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Jackpot has to offer.